Hi guys, welcome to episode 14 of Roll with the Fox Antivirus Edition. Enrique, I couldn't make it today, so his younger brother Eduardo is subbing in.
Hola, Fox.
Guys, if you don't get the joke, watch previous episodes. Anyways, guys, Enrique got a haircut. So again, we still stay with the theme, guys, social distancing, all right? If he breaks, I'm still dragging him out here and still gonna do stuff to him as my dummy. Anyways, so we're gonna stay with the theme of top attacks. So yesterday we worked on some of the deep half guard counters and follow-ups. Today what we're going to do is we're going to work on top of cross-side arm locks. We worked on same-side arm locks. So, same side, tap, or same side before on a previous episode. So guys, unless you have specific questions related to those, please look to the episodes that we covered, the same side arm locks. So we're going to go to the far side now, all right? So a lot of times when you get on top of cross side, this is how things usually look. I'm not a big fan of locking my hands, because I'm not necessarily the biggest guy, neither is Enrique, but if I lock my hands, you're going to have to put a little more pepper into it. So you can see, he probably could have swept me, but my hand got crushed under his shoulders. All right. So when you lock your hands, if the guy's, you know, and like I said, Enrique's probably, what, 170 right now? 175. You know, if you put enough pepper into it, if you warmed up properly, he probably would have rolled me through. I want to be able to disengage and post my hands if I can, okay? So especially if I'm doing this to a lot bigger guy, I'm going to have my hands sort of floating. So if he, you know, he has and I can always post and put my hips forward, all right? So again, for me, the best way to stay on top of cross side is to threaten submissions and keep changing your arm positioning until you come up with a good grip where you can take that and go for a submission, okay? So what I mean by that, again, if Enrique was 230, you know, trained for a while, if I lock my hands, he would almost for sure roll me through. It's just a matter of time. Even if I'm really hanging back. But so as soon as he sets up his defenses, if I don't have a good grip, what I'm going to do is I change mine. Now he has to change again. So he's constantly changing his grips and his arm positioning and framing in a way that enables him to escape. But it's based on what I'm doing to him. Okay? So if I want to keep somebody down, I'm not just going to hold them. I don't believe that that's a good, viable strategy, especially when you're dealing with a stronger and bigger opponent. All right? So again, this is what I usually interplay with. Usually, it's a very simple switch. During the whole time, I keep my weight on him. All right? Sometimes, you know, if I want to make his life miserable, I'll pressure down. But as soon as the guy starts to try to bust out, I keep changing. So right now, I changed on Enrique right away. Again, I'm staying on top of cross side. So even though he escaped that initial sort of attack, my job is to stay on top of cross side. And you may have to move. You certainly will have to move your arms. You may have to move your body. So just, you know, sometimes go north-south and take things away from him until I get the grips that I'm looking for, and then I go to submission. My job is not to hold him for half an hour. Yeah, it's great if you can, but at some point it should lead to a submission, all right? So let's look at what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this far side arm, all right? So I want to swim in, not this way. If I swim in this way, we're looking for baseball bat chokes and so forth. So if I want the far side arm, I'm looking to swim this way, all right? So let's look at it. If the guy has a frame, yeah, I can swim in like this. Now he's under a threat of a baseball bat choke, whether it's gi or no. All right? So notice how I'm swimming the far side arm. I can threaten this. And as soon as I get the grip that I'm looking for, my chest comes back down. All right? So one more time. This is where people usually have trouble with. So I'm actually using my chin to control his hand. I bring it down. I can swim in, or I can swim inside. As he's re-swimming me, the opening gets created. So literally, I just, as I'm swimming in, most of my weight comes off a little bit, but it's more my body turns, so my weight is not completely off, and I get the unlock. Now I'm ready to go into submission. All right. So, during this whole time, guys, I keep my knees very, very wide. So let's look at it from the other side. So you can see, no, you stay here. So I'm swimming in. As soon as he re-swims, notice how I'm keeping my legs wide, and I start to stretch them out to make sure I'm not vulnerable to being rolled through. He cannot come to me. The only way he can go is that way. All right, so especially once I get my arm in, it's easy for me to keep him pinned. So it's going to be difficult for him to turn to me. All right. So let's look at it from the other side. So now I'm ready to go. So I bring my forearm across his stomach. All right? And I'm controlling his head. Guys, I'm not bringing him to me. I'm not pulling. Yeah. Because now he can exaggerate and put me down. What I do is I misalign his head. All right? He cannot shrimp until he frees his head. So when I want to go for the arm, I bring my forearm across his belly, and I actually put my weight into my forearm, my right forearm. This is very uncomfortable, and the guy, this is what he wants to do. I want him perpendicular. All right? At this point, my chest stops him, so he cannot. This is only as far as he can go. Okay? And I've stopped very big guys. Notice that my hand has drifted from his tricep to his elbow. So that way, so I start out here. If Enrique is really big and strong, I can always power him back down. Okay? And then make the adjustments. All right? So I bring my forearm across. I'm not pulling his body. He's going to do that work for me. Now he's on his side. Now, watch. Again, guys, how many hands do we use for arm locking people? Binary code. Do not do this. You don't need two hands. Do not do that. Post your hand. All right. Now, watch what a lot of people do. Enrique, when you feel opening, you escape. Okay. All right. Let's do it again. Now this time, I'm going to do it different. Better. Can somebody tell me what I did differently between the first try and second try? I know there's a bit of a lag, guys, so While Enrique's getting his belt tied up.
On
Let's see if
YouTube,
somebody comes with an answer.
on YouTube, Import Man 2009 says space.
Yes, space. Now, how did I create space for him? I'm going to do it again, guys. Pay close attention. First one. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'll take the arm out. I might have this. Maybe. It was marginal. I had it. Marginal. But as Enrique said, he was almost out, which he was. If he was fully warmed up, if he and I would go live, full speed, he would have escaped. No escape this one.
On Facebook, Jacques Blaine says body connection. On Instagram, FlameDame513 says you kept pressure.
Guys, some good answers. I'm going to really slow it down now. So, I believe that most people do it this way. When I teach a seminar and we focus on arm locks, this is how most people will do it. Look at the left leg. This is pretty tight, yes? That's where that space gets created. No space, guys. So, the answer is, if I'm going on his left arm, my left leg is going to lead the way. If I put the sole of my left foot on the ground and pop up, that's where that space gets created. The way I do the arm lock is I slide in. So I'm sliding in like this, as opposed to so. This is how it's done. It may be somewhat unnatural to most of you, or some of you, but once you learn to isolate the arm and harvest the arm the second way, it's a lot tighter, a lot harder for them to escape. Even if you don't do it as fast, it's a lot easier to basically scoop up the arm with the inside of your left thigh. Okay, does that make sense, guys? Do we have any questions on this?
Yes, on YouTube, George Bogan says, what if you have joint flexibility issues where your heel can't touch your butt?
It's okay. So I'm going to try to do that. Guys, flexibility is one thing that you can improve. Flexibility, I'm not a naturally flexible person, but I've been doing martial arts for 34 years and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu 27. So, you know, like that's something you can work on. Obviously, it's not going to get better overnight, but so I'm never gonna, you know, so you could practice, you could stretch. Guys, again, if you're trying to improve your flexibility, I usually, before I train, I usually do dynamic stretches to loosen up and warm up my body, and afterwards do static stretches. So static meaning you just kind of stretch like this. Dynamic means something like this, you know. All right, so I believe that's the right way to get your body ready, and then once your body's pliable from training, to stretch in a static way. I actually have basically a routine I do every time I get on the mats. You know, if I fly to Europe, do a seminar, before the seminar, I always do the same routine. Mike filmed it, but he got lost when he changed his phones. So we'll take care of that at some point.
On Facebook, Bendo Blub says hello from Germany.
Hi.
And on YouTube, Importman2009 says, wow, that's an awesome detail. Many thanks. I am not great at BJJ, but I am no beginner either. But I find myself learning constantly here. Thanks, Fox.
I appreciate those comments, guys. Guys, again, as I said, please comment. Don't hesitate to ask questions. Doesn't necessarily have to be during the live session, but I do read all the comments. Like I said, I may not have time to respond to every single one of them, but I do read all of them, and I generally, pretty much every time we do an episode, I look at it to make sure that if there's anything we could do better. So let's look at this arm lock again. All right, guys, this goes back to how many hands I need to hold an arm lock with. If Enrique does not defend it, he doesn't try to spin, hitchhiker escape, which is very common from here, or lock up, this is all I need, one hand. You can reinforce with the other, okay? Entering into that arm lock, my opposite hand is basically available to float to post balance, all right, as I'm sliding in. The only way it's going to get engaged is if Enrique tries to escape, hitchhiker escape. I switch my grip, tap, and change the angle. So we talked about this. There's a big arm lock session, edition. Well, it's a chapter episode. I'm sorry, guys. So we have regular Roll with the Fox, who's on monthly now since this thing's hit us. We've been doing a daily edition. So antivirus edition, it's a daily thing and episode. So let me get my terminology correct. But the thing that there is an episode on arm locks. All right. So we focus on 4 things: angles, grips, fulcrum, and follows. In this particular case, all those 4 concepts are extremely important. As I explained to you before, this is the grip that most people should be using for arm lock. This probably should be the most common one. We can use the under armpit grip, but sometimes it just takes too long to get into it. It's extremely powerful, but it doesn't necessarily present itself readily. And holding with your hands, guys, if, I've seen videos of, highly skilled guys doing an arm lock from the guard with their hands. I could tell you that there's people that could do this to me if I'm hanging on their arm. Especially if even a 2-on-1 will not overpower them. So I need to be able to pin it to my chest and use my core to extend. So the grip becomes very important. The only time I will use both hands on the wrist is when I need to adjust the angle very quickly. And this happens to be one of those times. Because I don't have both legs over his body. So I need to, as soon as I drop in, I need to make sure that my hands go on his wrist, just in case if he tries to spin out and I need to adjust the angle quickly. So I make a very quick grip change, and then I can adjust the angle very quickly to still finish, even if the guy is really good at spinning out, hitchhiker escape. All right? That's it. Tap. Stop going. Stop escaping. Go back to where there's no pain. Yes. Now, guys, watch this. This is also a very, very important concept. All right? When I drop in, I'm going to go, yeah, just make it frame, don't worry. So When I spin, when you drop it into the arm lock, it's very important to do what? How should be my body positioned relative to his? I'm going to do it two ways, and you're going to get the hint real quick. Escape, come on, escape. Again. Come on, escape. Escape. Can people tell what the difference was between first one and second one?
On Facebook, Jenny Kraubacher says perpendicular.
Yes, Jenny. Yes. Exactly. Perpendicular. What is hitchhiker escape? He leaves the arm behind and pivots. Spins. Right? Spins away. So if I hit 45-degree angle, I just gave him 45 degrees into his escape. Can everybody understand what I'm talking about? So if I drop in on Enrique, and this is where I want to be. I want to be perpendicular. Okay? So now he has, go ahead. I'm not going to, he has all that distance to cover, which gives me a chance to do what? Follow up. Change my grip, adjust the angle. It gives you all that time, all that distance to change the angle, change the grip, or use a follow-up. Now, if I drop in 45 degrees, he's basically 45 degrees is half of 90. He's halfway into his escape already, which gives me a lot less chance to change my grip. By now, if I change my grip right now, it's going to be too late. And if you think you're going to triangle him, you have another thing coming. I'm going to try to switch into triangle. If you can, you stop. It's going to be a point of pride for me if I can triangle him from this. Why couldn't I not triangle him? So my angle was wrong. It was 45 degrees. So basically, I gave him half his escape already by falling in to 45-degree angle versus 90-degree angle. So I gave him half his escape. People say, well, there's a follow-up of a triangle. It's a rough follow-up because any guy worth his salt that's been training for a while, he will block the second ankle. It is easy. He doesn't have to put himself out. He blocks the second ankle, you will not get it. All right? And basically, you literally cut the time of your response in half. Mike, do we have any questions on this?
Yes. Adolfo Ferranda says, what if he lays on that knee that you slid in and now he's laying deep on that foot and shin? Does it impact the quality of the arm bar? Do you have to make adjustments?
Excellent question. Excellent question. So let's zero in where I'm dropping in. So I'm going to go for your left arm, but no, don't go too far. We want to be able to see it from the camera. Tighten your gi so that they can see. When I slide in, and this is experience, this is practice. When I slide in, you don't slide in next to his body. There are instances where looser is better. Okay? So I'm not sliding in here. If you slide in that tight, he will escape. So you slide roughly about a foot from his back. So I'm sliding in. Look at the gap. Can everybody see this? Can you guys see the gap?
Yeah.
So as I'm sitting down, I have plenty of room to raise my leg. Okay? Do the other side. Can everybody see the gap? Look at this. Okay? So, I want to make sure I fall perpendicular. That's my aim. Okay? As soon as I fall, if he starts to spin, I change my grip. It's a very quick change. So I'm still ahead because I initiated. So even if he's very good at reading my movement and what I'm going for, that's it. All I'm doing is this. Look at the movement he has to make. Keep on. Tap. I can stop him really far into his spin. But that assumes that I'm trying to fall into a perpendicular position. He may start to spin, so as you're coming in to get into a perpendicular position, he may already spin. All right? So as he's spinning, he wants to get as lined up as possible. But so if I aim for here and he's already spinning, I can stop him. I can stop him. Now, if I come in sloppily and drop here, it's such an easy way for him to shut that angle down quickly and escape. All right? So aim for perpendicular position when you drop in. All right? Now it's very easy for me to stop him. Okay? Guys, might just let me know that we only have 5 more minutes left, so we may pick up this topic tomorrow because there's a lot of very important sort of follow-ups and concepts that we're discussing here. Again, we're talking about angles, grips, fulcrum, and follow-ups. All right? So let's look at a follow-up. What is a logical follow-up if he escapes? But now, if I aim to drop in on perpendicular, I have time. You have time to think, and you have time to react. All right? Now, once you basically get past, once you get good at this, it should be an automatic reaction. All right? So your thinking should almost not come into play anymore. So he starts to spin. Stop. Freeze. Guys, in this position, I already switched the grip, but it's too late. Stop turning your hand. Don't make me do this. What should I do? Hint, follow up. Follow up submission. Hint, I did a video on it with Firaz Zahabi on TriStar Gym channel.
You should not break it one.
I should not break it one though.
Import Man on YouTube says omoplata.
Yes. Excellent answer. I'm going to do it real fast, so you guys, we're going to come back to this. That didn't hurt.
But you didn't do it fast.
I know. So I'm going to do it fast because once this happens, if you go live, we're talking, you actually, if you aim to fall 90 degrees, you're going to have time. But it will happen fairly quickly. But I want you to see that you don't have to do a whole lot of things. All you do is just bring the leg over, and he will do the work for you. He will line up with you in the right way for omoplata. You don't have to sit up, and all you need to do is bring the leg over and sit up. That's it. All right? One more time. Tap. He will literally put himself into that position. That's your best option, even if he escapes. Again, guys, I'm not going to talk about details of omoplata. 1 month ago, I did a big video, 2 actually, with Firas. One is free on the TriStar Gym channel. The other one is, I think it's $25. You can get it $5 off on jujiclub.com. It's Firas as a hobbies sort of site. Or, anyways, so there's, between the two of them, there's an hour and a half of instruction. But long story short is that even if he escapes, he's going to sweep himself. So I don't really care. My most important job is to, one, yeah, I'd like to make a submission. If I cannot make a submission, I'd like to get into a superior position, either sweep or reversal or something. And third is get back into a strong position. Get back to where I started from. So that way there's sort of no harm done. Guys, when you hone those principles, it doesn't matter whether you're talking about your bottom or top game. Your games become better because you start to have confidence. If I'm on top, a lot of people are afraid of trying anything. So a lot of times, and guys, this is a pretty big sort of beginner's feeling. It's like, I pass this guard, thank God, let me just hold on for dear life. I don't want to do anything, I don't want to move because I'm here and I'm good. No, you're not good, guys. In training, take a chance, try to put him away. If you screw it up, it's either maybe you made the right move, but you didn't have it technically well enough, or you didn't have good timing, but at least you're trying, and eventually, if you keep trying, you will get better. Your game will get better. If you have strong guard, if you have a good guard, and I really encourage big guys to have a good guard, guess what? If you have a good guard, you're not afraid to attack from the top. Because worst case scenario, he winds up in your guard and you're going to dispatch him from there. Okay? So when you get on top of cross side, I'm not saying just get top of cross side before you have anything, just kind of jump in like this. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about setting things up in a way that makes him put his arms in the right place. What do we talk about? So if Enrique is like, get a good, yeah, if he's here, and I'm not swimming, I'm going to swim inside, I'm threatening baseball bat choke. He's turning to me, I'm swimming again. I drop my chest to stop him from turning past perpendicular to the floor. I'm going to bring him down, and now I have the isolation. I will now pressure him, bring my forearm across, slide in, and done. How much time we have, Mike?
It's pretty much time.
Pretty much time. Do we have any last minute questions on this? Guys, we're going to pick it up again tomorrow because I want to go over a few more things. We're going to talk about what happens if he rolls, and we have at least 1 or 2 other follow-ups.
Yes, I'm going to fit in 2 questions. First, Legacy Channel says good morning from Northwoods of Wisconsin.
Hi, guys.
And Vincent MMA Life on YouTube says, hi, Coach. How do you deal with the ghost escape from side control so that the person tries to put you in north-south and slip out?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. So I go north-south. Yeah, I think this is I assume this is what you're talking about. So anytime that happens, I want to keep when I go north-south, I want to kind of keep my head on his hips. When that changes and he gets a good frame with his arms, I change my hip angle. So basically the structure collapses. All right, so let's look at it again. I'm going to go north-south. So when this happens, I'm keeping my head by his hip so he has a hard time bringing his legs up. His structure does collapse. All right? So I will try to keep him where he is. keep his hips down. Once I feel his arms have extended way past 90 degrees, so like over here, now once they can lock in, and even at this point, he already has a good frame. All you need to do is just change your hips. It's up to you which side. Slide left, slide right. One of the arms is going to slip, and his structure, defensive structure, is completely collapsed. Let's do it one more time. So, I hope that answers your questions. Guys, tune in tomorrow to episode 15. Is today Friday?
Yes.
So guys, tomorrow is Saturday, and the day after tomorrow is Sunday. As I said before, if I don't break, I'm doing this on a daily basis. That means 7 days a week. Stay safe, take care of others. Guys, and I hope to see you tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time.